Hey everybody, this is Mike, and today we're going to talk about the power of why and how. And I'll explain what I mean by that. So, whenever anybody is doing anything, it's important to ask why they're doing it and how they're doing it. And I'll explain what I mean by that. Um, if a person is anxious, depressed, frustrated, angry, you can ask yourself, how are they doing that? Now, usually people get confused. What are you talking about? What do you mean, how do I? I'm not doing anything. Well, that's not true. How is our strategy for when we have an emotional response? It's what we're thinking, doing, physiology, imagining, and of course that leads to the feeling. So, for example, if someone were to say they're depressed, and I would say, well, how are you doing that? How do you do depression? They might say, well, I was sitting at home alone. Okay, so you're alone. Okay. The lights were low, or maybe they were off, so I'm kind of sitting in the dark. Okay, so you're sitting alone in the dark. Okay. I'm listening to sad music or watching a sad movie. Okay. I'm eating a gallon of Haagen-Dazs ice cream. Okay. And I'm thinking what a loser I am. Okay. I don't think any of us would be surprised the person's depressed. So that's how they did depression. They were alone by themselves in the dark, listening to sad music or watching a sad movie, eating something to make themselves feel good, like comfort eating, and thinking of what a loser they are. Well, of course they felt depressed. Who wouldn't feel depressed? So that's what I mean by how somebody does something. Whenever we're feeling any emotion, you ask, well, what are we doing exactly that either creates or exacerbates that emotion? Because in any situation, we're doing things that can either create or maintain it. We're thinking certain things, we're imagining certain things, we're actions we're doing or not doing certain things. Maybe we're avoiding things. Maybe we're isolating. Maybe we're wallowing and ruminating. Maybe we're kind of being off by ourselves and kind of isolating ourselves. Maybe we're engaged in safety-seeking behaviors, seeking reassurance. So again, there's certain things. Maybe we're acting in a very passive-aggressive way. So there's things that we're doing and thinking and imagining. And the body too. So, for example, the body can be very when we are upset. The body, you've heard of the fight or flight, right? So, let's say, for example, that a person is holding their breath, or their muscles are tense. That's a signal to the body at a very deep biological, perhaps even evolutionary level, that we're under threat, right? Because the body doesn't tense up. And we hold our breath when things are going well. So at a very unconscious level, when we hold our breath, when we're tense, when we're tight, when our heart rate is going a mile a minute, the body and the mind says, okay, what's going on here? Are we under threat? What's happening? And the body reacts accordingly. So again, we change our thoughts, we change our images, we change our actions, we try to control our physiology, breathing deeply, relaxing our muscles. These are all things that we can do to counter the effects of what we're doing that maintain or creates the negative emotions. So that's the how. That's how do we do it. But why do we do it? Well, maybe we do it because we're trying to meet a need. We talk about Maslow's need, and then Glasser and choice theory has needs: the need for love and belonging, the need for power. By power, I mean feeling productive and successful and accomplished. The need for fun, the need for freedom, independence, autonomy, the need for meaning and purpose in our life. So we do things because we have a desire to meet the needs. But we have these images in our heads, these what we call these quality world images, these images that if we had the kind of life we imagine, we'd be thrilled. It wouldn't get any better than that. We imagine ourselves being successful and having friends and going out and feeling confident. Maybe taking vacations, going places with our friends, having a barbecue, having kids, owning our own business, whatever it is. And if we were to meet those needs, it wouldn't get any better than that. So that's the why. We want to get these needs fulfilled. Or maybe values. We have certain values. Curiosity, creativity, kindness, generosity, sense of fairness and justice and equity, patience. We have, again, these values that are important to us. And those are very motivating. So usually the why that we do things is we do it because we want to meet our needs, we want to be congruent with our values. So this is the power of why and how. When we figure out why we want to do something, or why we're not doing something, and how we're doing it, or how we're not doing it, that gives us many, many answers to the problems that we're going through. So this is why I call it the power of how and why. We figure out why we're doing it, and that gives us some understanding. Why is this important? That kind of motivates us. Why are we doing it? Why do we want to change? Why do we want to stop doing it? Well, because I want to be congruent with my values. Oh, okay, well, that's a good reason. I want to get my needs met. Oh, well, that's a good reason. So how are you doing it? Well, I'm thinking this and doing that. Okay, well, what if you think and do something different? Oh, okay. So working together, there's nothing that's 100%, but I think the power of how and why really can go a long way to helping people identify what the problem is, why is it a problem, and what's the goal, what's the solution, and looking at, okay, why do I want this, or why do I not want this, what do I want instead, and how am I maintaining or creating or exacerbating the situation, and how can I stop doing it and get me to a place that I'd rather be. So I hope this was helpful, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care.